Welcome everyone to today's Daily Tune-In. I'm Vidette Mayer, and today I'm kind of excited about the message that has come through. It's a little bit interesting and exciting, and I'm curious to get your thoughts and your experiences, and it's also really sweet. So sit back, get yourself a little beverage, but first I want to check in on what's happening energetically to our planet, because whatever happens in the atmosphere of our planet is also happening to us today. So let's check that first, and then we're going to get into the message. All right, first here is the Schumann Resonance, and as you can see, it's pretty calm. It's very much like it has been for the week. And as you'll notice, still again, these lower frequencies here are really getting a lot of that green energy, and that green energy symbolizes that these lower frequencies within us are really getting a good old zapping. Intuitively, I always see these little zaps right here. I always think of them as going zzz, zzz, zzz. It's almost like pulsating light that's coming in and cauterizing, so to speak, the lower densities within us. So again, if you're having a lot of things that are coming to the surface, a lot of emotions that are coming to the surface, this is the time that you have some space to integrate energetically, and process these lower emotions. It's not a bad thing that these are coming to the surface. They're coming here in order for you to take a look at, for all of us to take a look at. So this is a really, really potent time to just sit in these lower frequencies. There's also some things down here. As you can see, there's some energy coming in to these higher frequencies. These are much higher. These are hitting our higher frequencies of being, our consciousness, our subconscious. Down here, you'll see at these really high frequencies, there's still some energy that's moving through us, and that energy is pushing and triggering those higher frequencies within us, those soul frequencies, those fourth dimensional and fifth dimensional frequencies, our heart and our soul frequencies. So all of us, every part of us is getting an upgrade. Therefore, there's going to be new ideas, new visions. We're going to talk about that in the actual message today, that are going to be bubbling up at the same time. All of this stuff is bubbling up. So it can still feel very, I don't want to say overwhelming, but it can still feel very potent of energies right now for you, because not only are you looking at all the denser stuff within you, but also you have these fourth dimensional and fifth dimensional frequencies that are bubbling up too, and your soul and your heart are calling for a different kind of being at the same time that you are taking a look at these lower densities of anything in your life that's causing anger and fear, and you're looking at them and having to stare them at the face and process them. So it can feel still very potent. Also, these densities in your physical bodies are being worked out as well. So your ascension symptoms will be a little bit heightened. So aches and pains, you might feel, if you have anything that tends to be compromised in your body, that's going to be acting up as well. So you might feel some physical discomfort as these frequencies are being pulsed by these high vibrational energies that are coming into our planet, which means they're also coming into us. So here is the magnetosphere, and as you can see, our planet is now fully engulfed in these higher frequencies and these higher energies. So we are feeling a little bit more pressure to actually, to increase and upgrade the energies of our bodies. We're also getting some energy here being pushed in by the sun side of our cosmos. So it is hitting our planet. So this is going to increase a little bit more. So it's really showing us that it's resonating with the Schumann resonance. And therefore, this is a day where we are going to have a lot of things bubbling up within us. Those things, again, as we said, that are going to bubble up the higher density things, but also it's kind of putting pressure on us to really acknowledge when these new ideas and these new feelings start to come up, new things that inspire us as well. So there's going to be a lot that comes up for us to take a look at. So don't be afraid of it, don't avoid it. It's going to keep going. Therefore, it's better just to sit with it and say, what is this? What is this thing that's inspiring so much? And oh, what do I need to purge so that I can actually remove that which no longer serves me from my life? So now you've seen what's happening in our planetary atmosphere energetically. Let's take that into our everyday life today. Whether you're conscious of this or not, these energies are affecting every single person. So when we understand what's happening and why we feel the way we do, we can better understand then how to alchemize these energies and flow with them rather than resisting and trying to do it our way. When we start to understand what's happening energetically, we can then actually use them to our advantage. So that's the whole purpose of these daily tune-ins. So today, the real thought is your vision starting to shift? What is happening with how you want your life to unfold? For many people, these higher frequencies are helping new ideas, new truths from your soul to bubble up and become clearer and clearer. As you purge that which doesn't serve you, those lower frequencies, we're being forced to do it. So if you are doing the work and sitting with the stuff that bubbles up that doesn't feel really good, and you're actually taking steps to eliminate and alleviate and to purge them, whatever those steps may be, you are then starting to allow more space for your true soul, to that frequency to bubble up. So these pressures that we've been in for a while now, but that you've seen actually on the magnetosphere and on the Schumann, not only are they pulsing into and helping you to bubble up those lower frequencies, but they're also pulsing into those higher frequency parts of you, the fourth dimensional emotional part, the fifth dimensional soul part of you. Those frequencies are still a part of you, and they are getting zapped. So many of us are starting to get new ideas we've never had about things that we are being called forth into, and we're like, what is this? I've never even thought of that. So on a spiritual level, are you longing for something different than you have ever before? And this is not the time to question or say, that's crazy, I'm going to let that go. This is the time to pay attention to it. Just as we're being asked to pay attention to the lower densities that are revealing themselves, also pay attention to new longings, new interests. Are you being called to explore or study something different? I know I am. It doesn't matter what it is, unless you're interested, I'll share it. But I want this to be about you. But even for me, there's things that come up where I'm like, what? I'm going to see what that's all about. And I'll start to explore something that I've never done before. That's the growth. That's what's happening. We are being elevated into our soul frequency more and more as we allow our souls to take the lead and let the ego kind of take a submissive role in our everyday lives, still sitting there because we still need the soul there we still need the ego there to do what it's here to do. But our soul is more so in the driver's seat. We've been talking a lot about that on these daily tune-ins. So as we allow that, our soul is calling us into places that our ego never knew anything about. So all of a sudden we're getting these new flashes and new ideas and new inspirations. And the ego wants to say like, what? We've never done that before. But this is exactly the time where we say, okay, I hear you. Thank you. You're right. We haven't been there. But let's just go explore it. And because it's more submissive now, it's like, okay, fine, So you're building a trust in following the soul, and you're allowing the ego to speak up. And also at the same time, you're teaching the ego that it's okay to trust, that it's okay to step outside of what it's always known before. And it's okay to go explore. You don't have to leave everything to go in a completely different direction, but it's okay spiritually for you to start to take some logical steps in following the path of these new ideas and these new areas of exploration that might be coming up for you. So emotionally, you're still being challenged between the ego wanting to stay safe and the ego, wanting to be like, yeah, but we should be doing this instead of going in that direction, instead of exploring that, we should be doing this and we should be going, all of those shoulds are still showing up for you. And that's giving you some imbalance emotionally because you really are longing to follow your soul. You're really longing to feel that excitement and that peace that comes when you actually follow and answer a soul's calling and you get a little bit further in your growth. And yet the ego's like, yeah, but we've got to do this, and this because this is what we've always done. So emotionally, this is what you are here today to really keep paying attention to. This has really been the call for us emotionally and for many weeks now. And especially since I've been doing these daily tune-ins for the last 2 weeks, this is ours to follow where our heart wants to go, because our heart just knows that it is supposed to go in the direction of our soul frequency. That's where it really wants to be led by. That's what it wants to be integrated with. But what has happened in normal everyday life is we put the calling of our heart to the side to answer the call of the ego and all the shoulds, which is why emotionally many humans are finding themselves in a place of sadness and in grief and stress and worry and anxiety and all those lower densities, because quite frankly, we're answering the call of the ego and not the soul. And the ego just keeps taking us in a cycle of all of the shoulds. So this is the stuff that's bubbling up, but those lower frequencies on the Schumann resonance that are getting zapped. If you're feeling a lot of anxiety at the moment, sit with it and say, what is this about? What is this about? Now, the other thing about that anxiety is there also could be the sense of excitement within it. They feel very similar. So if you are following the call of your soul and reaching out and starting to research and explore these new ideas that are coming in, you might feel something that feels familiar. It feels like anxiety, but it's actually excitement, because your heart's like, oh my gosh, we're actually liking what we're doing. And yet there's such a fine line between the two, because they feel so similar, and yet they are very different vibrationally and in frequency. So pay attention. If you're feeling anxiety, really sit with it so you can see, is this the higher expression of excitement because I'm following more and more where I'm being called in my soul? Or is this really the anxiety that I've felt before because I keep answering the call of the shoulds and the egos and all the things that, I'm supposed to be doing? This is how we fine tune. We're getting the opportunity to fine tune our emotional intelligence and our intuitive intelligence, because those two muscles, so to speak, those two things have not been exercised in most humans in everyday life. So this is where we're fine-tuning those gifts of intuition, our psychic abilities, our creativity. The creativity is starting to bubble up and you're like, what is this? This new idea? I've never had anything like this. You can't, not that you can't, you have a choice to really take a look at it, because there's so many parts of you now that are being zapped awake, so to speak, by these higher frequencies. So there's a part of you that's waking up that has been dormant because of these high frequencies. And the more you purge the old stuff, the more you purge the denser pieces of you that haven't been serving you, the more this new part of you, this new expression, your higher self, comes more and more clearer and clearer to you, to the surface. And she's got gifts and she's got creative talents that you never knew you had. So this is the time to tune in and say, okay, I'm gonna explore what that is. I never knew myself to even be interested in that. That's growth, sweet soul. That is an expansion of your awareness. That's what this time is all about. So what does that look like in your physical world? It looks like experimenting with moving through your day in full and utter devotion to your soul and your emotional attraction. Where are you excited to follow? What are you excited to do? It makes no sense to your ego, because your ego is, again, it's going to be like, but this is what we've always done, and if we don't do this, the job, the boss, the mom, the kids, no one's going to understand it. This is when you start to understand yourself more and more. Because when you understand yourself more and more, you start to become aware of all of those roles you play. Which one is not serving you? Which one do you need to update? What do you need to upgrade in these areas of your life? So if any of them are getting really painful, that's because these energies are helping them to become more and more visible at the same time as these soul callings are becoming more and more visible and more visceral and tangible in your energy body. So pay attention to what's happening. This is where you get today in your physical world. This is where you get to shift your perspective from the creating from the 3D world on up in the hopes to feel better and in the hopes to be in your aligned purpose. It's not how it works. This is where we shift the perspective to what is calling to my soul. How does that make me feel? Oh my gosh, it expands my heart so much. And okay, I'm going to do that in my 3D world. This is where we do a complete flip of how we've been taught to operate in our physical lives. Pursue this new vision. Whatever is shifting in your heart and in your soul, whatever you're seeing more and more, this is where you start to shift your 3D world, your physical world, over to that soul-led world, in your soul-led life in this physical world. This is a final cycle for you. We've talked about this a couple days ago. I think we're at the end of a cycle. You are. But that cycle only then continues and starts over from the place that you choose today and in this now moment. So if you are consistently choosing to shift your focus to the spiritual calling, to the emotional calling, and then bringing that into your 3D world, this new cycle will begin in the space of a soul-led cycle as opposed to an ego-led cycle. So keep doing the work. Be brave to look at everything that's bubbling up. Be courageous enough to sit with it and stare it in the face. If you're feeling overwhelmed, what am I overwhelmed with? If you need help on that, sometimes it's hard to unpack it all. If it's part of you and it's been a part of you, it can be difficult to unpack. And I haven't been able to do that all on my own. None of us can. We have to have a support system. We have to have those souls that can help us see a different perspective of ourselves. If you would like further support, I am here for you. It's how I live my life. It's what I am trained to do. It professionally and personally, I have been through the training to be able to see different perspectives of the same situation. I would love to support you on your journey. Until then, keep going. I'm going to say it probably every video. Just keep going. Keep looking at everything that's bubbling up, because it's here to support you in growing and evolving and expanding and truly living that purposeful and missioned, soul-led life you are here at this time to live. It's really, really potent and beautiful stuff. You are being called into your highest self, sweet soul. And this is why I love this message, because we need that. You, more than the ego-led, we have enough ego. We see it in our world. We have enough fear. We need you to step into your highest calling And don't get all crazy about what that means. And oh my gosh, what it means is exactly what we're talking about on each day in these daily tune-ins. It's tuning into what's bubbling up. It's tuning into, what do I really need to look at? What do I need to choose differently in? What do I need to discern more about? That's all this is. You're living your purpose and your meaning in every now moment if you are choosing that which you are called from a soul expression to follow. Just follow the vision as it shifts. Just have faith in it and trust it. Thank you for being here today. Welcome to the end of the week. I am so grateful to be doing these. I love this. I love this process of sitting down with my journal and writing out these daily tune-ins, and it's helping me to expand my own intuition and my own trust in where I'm being led. And in doing that, I'm hoping that this is supporting you. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this, and I'll see you on the next Daily Tune-In. See you later. Mwah. Bye. If today's Daily Tune-In brought you value and insight, please consider giving in return for that value by leaving a love offering. All donations go to keeping this platform operating and in service to humanity during these transformational times. To go even deeper into your soul frequency, please consider these offerings. For personal insights into your most pressing questions and concerns, get an energetic insight reading delivered directly to your inbox. To take a quantum leap in your transformation, book a personal session with Vedette. There are several options available based on how deeply you would like to go into your most desired soul-led life. To find more information and to book your sessions, please visit VedetteMayer.com.